On my way back home, says I'm so tired, being alone. All the places I've gone, all the things I've been shown.
You're feeling good, aren't you, John?
All the friends I've known.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Triangle. I totally blew the introduction that we were supposed to do because the music didn't fade. So
That's right, it faded now.
We're gonna.
3, 2, 1. Ron Durbin is live.
Thank you, John Frazier. I blew the introduction. As you will see, this is a live show, and I am not a puppet performer. I am real, and I am not perfect. But welcome and thank you to the first episode of The Triangle, except for the last first episode, which was a little while ago when we had some audio and technical difficulties. Now, I don't want to talk about who to blame on that, but we're going to talk later about who to blame for the audio and technical difficulties. But before we get there, I want you guys, and let's play it again. Let's play that again. Our intro music is from Flash Terry. Listen for a second to On My Way Back Home from Flash Terry, a Tulsa and Oklahoma legend. Can you hit that music for us? Yeah, bring it up a little bit. Now, what I learned today at the Tulsa bus terminal is that Furby Flash Terry was born in Inola, Oklahoma, June 17, 1934. And during his lifetime, he worked for 20 plus years for the Tulsa Transit Authority, driving people around on bus routes in the city of Tulsa. I learned that while visiting and getting kicked out of the Tulsa Transit Authority today. But I wanted to lead with this music because I found a plaque about Flash Terry, and ever since I got back to the office, we found his music. We've been really enjoying it. It's a bluesy, jazzy kind of vibe going on. There's a couple of songs. We've got a QR link there. But Flash Terry, he died March 18th, 2004 after driving more than 1 million miles for the Tulsa Transit Authority and producing some absolutely fine music. So I wanted to introduce you guys to that tonight because I learned about him today while getting thrown out of the Tulsa bus terminal. We're going to talk about that, but first, I want to introduce you to some of the special guests here. But first guy I got to introduce you to, sitting across from me, is Grant, co-host. This is the Triangle with Ron and Grant. Now I want you to notice whose name came first.
I'm Grant.
Right, and I'm Ron.
Second is obviously.
So, do you want to say something? Because you know I like to talk.
Yeah, I mean, I really just like to sit around and listen to you talk is really what I'm here for. So you just take it on over there, Ron.
Well, no, that's whoops. See,
Feedback.
That's
It's a learning curve.
our production manager is having issues. Well, Grant doesn't want to talk right now, but we're going to get into.
Let's talk about the Jazz Hall of Fame, and we'll talk about the bus terminal. I wasn't there, obviously.
No, you were here you were here supposedly resolving all these audio issues and doing all those things. We see how well that worked out, don't we, folks?
So far, it's working pretty good.
Well, hey, but look, folks,
We're live.
I want you to know something. A week ago, and I got a lot to talk about, but a week ago, this room was drab. This room was a completely different color. The drywall was off the wall up there. These vent things were white. These other things were, the outlet tubes were white. I mean, there was a drop ceiling in here, and Anthony on Friday just comes in and starts ripping stuff apart.
Yeah, he said we were going to pull down that ceiling. I was like,
And somehow, I am now thousands of dollars into this new podcast studio that I think was Grant's dream. So we're going to talk about the Justice for All Legal Defense Fund that's going to help fight for things like justice and other things in the state of Oklahoma, and help cover the message getting out of there.
That's the real
because I mean, at the end of the day, Ron can only spend so much money before I run out of it. I get close all the time. With that said, I also want to introduce you guys to the gentleman who started the whole thing, or was supposed to start the whole thing until I blew it. Mr. John Frazier, a.k.a. Old School. Everybody, let's give an applause for Old School.
Alex,
Yeah, where's my sound guy?
applause guy.
Where's my applause guy? He's supposed to be hitting the button. Hit that button, Alex.
Hit the button. Yeah.
Alex does not have prior training and experience in this. But folks, this really is a serious thing. Thank you, Old School, for joining us. We also have Anthony Smith here joining us. And Anthony has been instrumental in getting all of this set up. And we've got Alex Miller, Grant's brother, over there trying to figure out how to run
Soon to be estranged brother if he doesn't figure out how to run the podcast.
I mean, look, personally, I would blame his leadership, which, if I'm not mistaken, sir, was
You
you.
are
So,
always looking to blame me.
what's the saying? Attitude reflects leadership. That's a great line. Do you know what movie that's from? Here's the first trivia question of the night. First prize we're going to give out. We're going to give out a prize from our from a special sponsor tonight. We're going to give out a Bodega Boy shirt. They don't know it yet, but I'm going to get them to give out a shirt. The
Bodega Boy.
first shirt that we're going to give out and give away tonight, because we're going to do this a lot. We're going to give away a shirt. I just decided. You got to write this down so we don't forget
We
this.
still owe
But we're going to
shirts
give
on
it.
our
I
own.
know, and we're getting them printed, and I got the logos finalized, and you're taking care of all that. And I sent you the screenshots to make sure all those people. I also promised Mary Jane May she could have one too, so I don't want to forget her.
Right on.
But we are going to give away a shirt to the first person who comments. Are we watching the Facebook feed? Are we watching it? I need the answer. Who
First
said that?
person that comments.
Attitude
All right.
reflects leadership.
Mary Jane, jump in
Captain,
there.
what movie is that from? Does anybody know? We'll give it a second. Let that sink in. It's an awesome movie.
Coach
Maybe
Carter?
some of you sports fans out
Coach
there will
Carter.
get it. Coach Carter. Yeah, that is incorrect,
Is
sir.
it incorrect?
That is incorrect. Yeah, absolutely.
What was
That is
it again
incorrect.
now?
Attitude reflects leadership. Captain.
Well, it's sports, so I was on the right track.
I did say it was sports. So there you have it. Let's throw that out there. Anthony's monitoring this to see if we get
I watch a lot of
a
sports.
response. But hey, while we're waiting on a response for that, and I'm going to give away more stuff later because I've been in a giving mood lately. I gave some time today and got kicked out of the Tulsa bus terminal, so
That
we'll
was
talk
cool.
about that. But before we talk about that, look, I have been asked time and time again, what can we do to help? What can we do to help? What can we do to help?
It's our big launch day.
It is the big launch day, and I'm terrified because one, asking for money is not an easy thing to do, but if we're going to carry out this mission, it's what we've got to do. And frankly, folks, and Grant will attest to this, I spend a lot of money fighting this stuff with zero money coming back. To do the right thing, I will spend a whole lot of money, and always will. But you guys have been asking about what you could do. So what we did was we created the Justice for All Legal Defense Fund. And I want Grant to take you through sort of the pillars of what that is, because he hasn't been talking enough.
Yeah, so Justice for All Legal Defense Fund, there are 4 pillars to it. It's going to be access to justice, cannabis and alternative medicine, environmental justice, and government transparency. Those are the 4 things we want to focus on. So when you contribute to Justice for All, you can know that your money is going to be well spent on making sure we fight those battles. So everything we do will be centered around one of those 4 things. Obviously, Ron's got a huge following in cannabis, but we want to expand to be able to help the community even further than that. And
We're already getting called. I mean, we've been here a few days, and
Yeah.
people already are showing up asking for help. So
So we got the government transparency. Obviously, we're already on that. We do a lot of open records requests, open meetings act stuff. As everybody might know, Ron is in a battle with the city of Tulsa right now over transparent
and
government.
OBNDD
In a
and the
battle with
OMMA.
OBNDD,
Yep.
14th Judicial District.
14th Judicial District suing them next week. Stay tuned for that, folks.
So you got the government transparency, cannabis and alternative medicine. Obviously, he's one of the pioneers in that area.
Oh, well, thank you, Grant.
I mean-
I wouldn't say, look, I'm a pioneer. I
You're
stand
one
on the
of
shoulder of giants, but
Well, that's true.
look,
you were in there early.
I'm-
You were in there early. You were
I
in
mean,
there
look, I was in there. I've been fighting for this ever since I did a favor for a guy who turned out to be a real scumbag. But you know what? It got me here.
I remember
so-
that. I
so those-
remember way back. Yeah, I
You know
remember
who
that.
I'm talking
Yeah, I know
about
you're
too.
talking about,
You
yeah.
know exactly who I'm talking. Isaac Cavanis would know exactly who I'm talking about.
So
That's
those two
for
things
sure.
are things you're very familiar with already, but we're also adding the access to justice, which is going to be important to help the community around here. We moved into Greenwood, obviously.
Okay, we've got a link up on the page, folks, that you can look at. It's the join the fight. And look, we're gonna have two different things, and I really need your support. I mean, look, I am absolutely begging, if that's what you want to call it, because we need your support. We've got two different ways to do it. One, if you're a cannabis business, in a little while later on the show, we're gonna launch the MMA packages, renewal packages, and programs that I've been asked for 4.5 years. It has taken some events in the last couple of weeks to break free and be able to get all of this stuff done. And this is the kind of stuff that gets pulled off when you're not being pulled back. And these are the things that we're going to be talking about. So if you've got a licensed business, you might, obviously we appreciate all your support. Justice for All is a 501c3 charitable entity. We've set it up with the Oklahoma Secretary of State, registered, et cetera. And all of that will be going into those accounts. We will be building a very large board, a diverse board on that as we move forward, all fighting for the pillars that Grant was just talking about. And so on the Justice for All thing, I wanted to make sure that everybody had the smallest sponsorship level to, if somebody wants to go really step up of what they can get. And so if you click on the link, you can see all the packages and the stuff that we've got there. The bronze sponsor, it's just $10 a month. For that, you get the streaming pint night on the deck or in Oklahoma City with an update from me every month. So you'll get to stream that from home. You'll get access to that private streaming group. So you'll be able to see that. You'll also get the monthly newsletter. And you'll get a RD Posse shirt of some kind or design that you'll decide on. I don't care. The fact that you guys like those shirts is awesome to me. It blows my mind. But then there's the silver sponsorship. And again, I'm pitching, folks, because we need your support. I can't do these things on my own. And you all have said we're going to stand up. We'll contribute what we can. The base thing is $10 a month. And we're going to use this money to fight these good fights. I went to something called the National Young Leaders Conference when I was in high school. Miss Thrash, Becky Thrash, recommended me for this thing, National Young Leaders Conference. And I was listening to a speech by a woman, and she was talking about how to become a millionaire. And she said the fastest way to become a millionaire, she's giving us information. The fastest way to become a millionaire, she said, young, impressionable children of, I was maybe 16,
Right.
Was start a nonprofit. And that stuck with me because I'm like, wait a minute, you're starting a nonprofit to become a millionaire?
Uh-huh.
That's really, we should be against that thing.
I've always thought that
right?
about nonprofits.
Should we not be that the people who started and own and manage a nonprofit should be against becoming a millionaire off the nonprofit? Yeah. Okay. You would think so. But that's what this woman was preaching to the 16-year-old me. And look, it didn't strike me the way that I think she hoped it would, which was go out and start a nonprofit and become a millionaire. It struck me in well, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
And I hear that there's some foundations and organizations around here that's their philosophy, and we're going to expose those kind of things as we fight in the city of Tulsa. But let's talk through these sponsorship levels. And again, some of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be sponsoring and helping fund Old School and Anthony's 77 counties in Oklahoma. We're going to be hitting 77 counties, not to just be doing things on cannabis, to be hitting all of the pillars that we're talking about, providing education for what the Open Meetings Act provides, what the Open Records Act provides, how you can demand transparency in the government, how to essentially get and set up your government for a lawsuit so we can take them to court to enforce your rights. Those are going to be things that we're going to be doing all across the state. And then we got a silver sponsorship. Has some of those base things, but it also has a private mastermind group. And guys, that's been me recording all these things about OMMA regulations, etc., where I'm going through all of the definitions ad nauseum. I have been working on those recordings with Grant for some time now.
Well, it's also going to allow people to ask questions in the group. So
Yes,
we'll have
absolutely.
a community of people when they have questions, simple questions that they might not be able to get an answer from OMMA on, because OMMA is obviously just pawning people off and not giving them the answers they're
They don't
seeking.
answer the phone.
Exactly. We'll be
Well,
able to
that's
go in there and
really-
you'll be
that's
able to
more-
get real answers to your questions.
And that's what our OMMA renewal that we're going to launch later, the Tricome renewal packages that we're going to launch that people have been begging for, is essentially they're going to pay for their work towards renewal in advance, month to month.
Well, but in that case, you're going to be able to get a hold of us and get questions answered.
Well, that's
and
what
all
we're
that.
talking about. Essentially, what we're going to use and again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but what we're going to use that money for is essentially to set up the whole network of providing like pre-inspection inspections and a call center and
But
guidance.
with this, rather
and,
than the call center, you'll be in the mastermind groups. You'll be able to ask questions online.
yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm still talking about the Justice for All stuff. We've got a $49 gold sponsor. It's got the update newsletter, the private mastermind group, the business strategies. Oh yeah, the annual business strategy session with me. We're gonna have we'll have a meeting once a year to go through things and talk through strategy. And then 25% off of entry to our annual legislative update, which we're going to do.
That's
that.
going to be awesome.
Yes, that is going to be awesome. And the classes are coming very, very soon. We're supposed to launch and announce those dates tonight, but we're going to postpone that because we've been a little busy getting this pulled off. So we'll get the dates, but we're going to have classes in Tulsa, Oklahoma City. If you think we need classes in Lawton or some other place, let me know where you think we need another class. Comment in the post. Are people commenting? Yep. Y'all shoot comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know your thoughts. Let me know, am I crazy? Again, I wanted to make this where everybody, oh, and by the way, I didn't want to just ask for your money and then have people show up that don't answer your questions. I wanted to ask for money and provide value for those things. So instead of begging for money, because I just, there's something about it, I'm like, well, what can we do to show people a return for their time, energy, and effort and money? Right. And so this is what we came up with to go, hey, look, you're giving your money. We want to give you of our time. And that's what we're going to give our time.
And what
you're
we're
going to
really,
give your
what
money.
we're really going to give is a fight. The whole point is the fight. These things are just bonuses. These are just bonuses.
I like.
And by the way, this is live and open tonight. We really need donations now, folks. Please donate. Grant can see the track it, please. If you
can join
donate.
schools. You can join under my Q code.
Oh,
that's
Old School's got a code for the. He's going to share, but he's got a code for
Right on.
The renewals because we're going to support Old School activists that are out there fighting, and we're going to do it through programs where we can offer discounts to them and offer them some financial support and doing all that stuff the way it should be done. Because dadgummit, I think everybody can fight for this fight, and folks don't have to beg for gas money to get to an event when they always show up. Right. If Justice for All can give Nancy Wallace some money to pay for gas to get somewhere, I think that's the least somebody could do.
That helps tremendously
right?
when somebody pays for gas. You
Right.
bet.
I mean, you as well. You live on a fixed income.
That would be great.
Let me talk about that, John. Can you share that? Talk about your experience for a second.
Okay, well, see, me, I'm on Social Security, fixed income, and I'm one of them people, I'm just like all these people that have got 780 passed. We saw that we had a chance to legalize cannabis in Oklahoma. We saw that we had a chance. I saw that I had a chance to get off all the legal drugs that I was on. And I was just sitting in a chair because I was a zombie because of the drugs I was on.
Like what kind of drugs are we talking about?
I was on 610 milligram hydrocodones a day.
What? I'm sorry, I don't.
610 milligram hydrocodone, lower tabs, whatever, 4 Xanax or bars, whatever you want to call them. I do Seroquel, Neurontin, Klonopin, Valiums.
Was all this prescribed, or were you just getting it wherever you
bet
could?
it's all. Now, I was going to like 4 doctors. Now, a lot of it relates back to my wife had a really bad car wreck, so I was on psychoactive drugs for that. And then I got disabled at work, so I was on painkillers for that. So I was going to a lot of different drug
So you got into that vicious opioid.
You bet, vicious opioid circle.
And cannabis got you off of. When did you get off of those?
5 years ago.
Can you share your story of how you made
bet.
that happen?
Before legalization, I got sick of being sick because I talked to so many people, and that's what you are. That's what I became on those opiates. I was sick. and I got sick of being sick. So I got a large amount of cannabis, and I stopped doing all those drugs, and I replaced them all with cannabis.
What do you mean by being sick? Can you explain that a little?
Sure, for 12 years, I sat in a chair. All I did was sit in a chair. I was a zombie. If I'd go out in my garage, which I did a lot, I couldn't hardly walk. I was slurring my words. I would fall down. I'd bang my head on concrete, pavement all the time. I was so bad that my relatives wanted to do an intervention on me because I was so bad. I would have to get up 4 or 5 times a night to go to the bathroom because I was on all those drugs.
Yeah.
Now, what used to irritate me is taking the drug test. For 12 years, I was scared to death to take a drug test.
Yeah.
Because occasionally they would bust me for smoking cannabis.
Uh-huh.
And what really irritated me was they'd give me a false positive for smoking cannabis. I hated that. That really irritated me.
Yeah.
So whenever I got off cannabis, I throw out this challenge all the time. I was scared to take a drug test for 12 years, but I would take a drug test right now. And I would take one right now, literally right now. And I'm not scared to take one. But you will not find any Seroquel, Neurontin, Klonopin, Xanax, or Lortabs in my system. But I'll guarantee you I will peg the meter on THC.
Well, that's respectable, John. I've seen you smoke. So.
I don't.
And the RSO as well.
Oh, the RSO, you bet.
But
And
you got some health issues though, don't you, bud?
I do. I'm a double cancer patient. I'm a pain patient, insomnia, PTSD, anxiety, depression.
Now let's talk about. I'm going to interrupt you. I like interrupting people.
Oh,
You know that,
good.
John. So PTSD. Could any of that maybe come from your military service?
And you know, people always think it's from military service, but it's not. Because I am a Marine. I wasn't an in-country Marine and during Vietnam and stuff, but I did Marine stuff. But my PTSD.
Marines do Marine stuff.
Marines
right?
do Marine stuff, yeah.
I've heard that saying once or twice before.
There you go.
We're gonna, I think we'll have to talk off of.
Yeah,
off
we can
the
talk
air
off camera
about
about
what Marines do and Marine stuff. I mean, I have seen the movie, you know, where $5. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, Full Metal Jacket. If
Full
you've
Metal
not
Jacket,
seen
yeah.
that movie, Full Metal Jacket. By the way, did anybody get our trivia? To interrupt John for a second, we're going to talk
Oh, yeah.
more about John's past. But did anybody get our trivia on what movie that was from? I mean, it should have been an easy
Should have been an easy
Google.
one. Yeah.
I mean, look, if some former lawyers that I used to know can sign up for Chat GPT and think that it's okay to use that to draft legal documents, which,
check
by the
it.
way, I disagree with the fact that using Chat GPT as a lawyer is an appropriate thing. I'm sorry. Maybe to get a form, but not to do anyway. We won't go there.
Yeah.
But Chat GPT and lawyers, that's a scary thing. Lawyers, don't trust the sites. I will tell you that, not from personal experience, because I think you'd be an idiot to trust that thing. I did notice that it quoted the Oklahoma Constitution saying something it does not say.
No.
And it took about 2 seconds to figure that out, in which case you go, okay, you're full of crap. Let's put you down and
Right on.
call that a good day. And ChatGPT, if you ask it questions, and this is off the topic, but did you know that ChatGPT, from my understanding, will make stuff
we
up?
got one answer. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Is
Thank
that
you.
it?
That is the correct answer.
Great, okay,
Remember
great
the Titans.
movie. Have you
Mary
seen that
Jane
movie?
May.
Mary Jane already
Mary
got
Jane,
a
rock
shirt.
on Mary Jane, yeah.
Mary Jane now gets 2 shirts. Mary
right.
Jane, you're gonna have to give one away. That is a rule that I just made right now, because I gave you the other one for free.
Somebody on the street.
Yeah, choose somebody on the. I'm already giving you one, Mary Jane.
Hey, trust me, Mary Jane rocks. I've
will
known
you pass
her.
it for her?
You
She's
bet.
an amazing human
Yeah.
being. And so when she said I want a shirt too, I was like, done already. You don't have to win anything.
Cool.
So now that you won one, will you pass forward your gift of one? Will you pass forward your win? Let's pass forward. I like that idea.
Cool, yeah.
Show a little love.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward, and I'll come up with something to give away. Something else. Have we got any donations yet?
Oh, it said Jen says no. Jerry Baker got it long ago. So
Okay, well Jerry Baker's getting one too.
Jerry
So-
Baker, he's a storm chaser. He gives me heads
Jerry,
up.
do you know Jerry? Yes, does he? Okay, folks, I want you to understand something, that the massive storms that went through here and destroyed Tulsa, I was not at those races because Jerry Baker convinced me. He's a storm chaser, and he's sending me these things saying, Ron, it is not wise to stay down there in,
Yeah.
and what was the name of that town that was so awesome?
Hawthorne.
Hartshorn. Hartshorn. Hartshorn.
Har-
No, Hartshorn. It's Hartshorn.
It's south of here.
Yes, but it's Hartshorn because it's not Hartshorn.
It's where pollination is located.
Yes, it's where pollination is.
Everybody should know that. Yeah.
Free plug for pollination. Maybe
Right
you should
on,
sign
yeah.
up as a sponsor pollination. By the way, sponsors are available.
Yeah,
Grant,
sponsorship
you want
is
to talk
available.
about that for a second? I'm off track here. But,
Okay, now this is what I really like because
by
people
the way, y'all
can
ask
get
questions.
Huh?
Yeah, folks, ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want to hear about? This is we're
People
we're-
can
we're-
get in.
I want to hear what y'all have to
People can get
say.
in at all levels. That's what I like about this. And you can get in and ask questions at levels. This is for patients. It's for processors. It's for growers.
Well, that's why we went to $10 a month. I mean, it's like
There you go.
I'm trying to be as. I mean, look. At the end of the day, if Fido, where there's a will, there's a way. I'm sure Grant would set something up for $5 a month if that's all you can afford to do. Please email them. Where every donation helps. We're going to put it to good use. I can assure you of that. And no, this does not fund my shoe collection. My shoe collection was funded out of old money, and I don't have that anymore.
Well, like you said,
I
this
spent
is
that thinking I was going to die. I didn't die, which I'm really happy
this
about.
is going to go to help, like you say, activists. So
Yes.
the people that don't get out to
and
do
the
that.
fight. We got to
right.
fight.
$10 worth of gas. That's a big decision if you're on a fixed income.
Yep.
And gas is not cheap.
No.
Okay, if I've got to go from Norman, where I'm at, to Tulsa and back, just one time, that's an hour and 26 minutes up here, an hour and 26 minutes back. That's a lot of gas, and you got to eat and stuff too. That's
Right.
a lot of stuff involved in your time and everything.
I introduced.
Oh, thank you for the barbecue tonight too,
you're,
right?
You're welcome. But I introduced old school to what it means to ask Ron to bring the munchies that weekend at Hartshorn. I got a text message. They're like, "Bring munchies."
Bring
and,
munchies.
I brought the munchies.
You
They
did
were like,
great.
"Did you
Yeah.
leave anything at Walmart?" But look, I mean, when you go, I feed people. That's what
You
you
did
do.
great,
Right?
yeah.
You feed people. Or I run them nuts by running my mouth too much. I'm not sure which the case is.
One or the other.
I mean, it happens. Okay, so that's the Justice for All. And look, there is a high-level, amazing, top-of-the-line, one-time annual VIP sponsor at $7,500. Everything in our monthly platinum sponsorship for a year, plus life membership in our trade organization. You get a private mastermind group, display of your logo on the website, sponsor banners, and podcast intro. Regular mentions on the podcast and during Facebook live streams. And Grant came up with this stuff, folks, with the advice of a lot of people. Monthly pint night on the deck industry update. Silver sponsorship package at the annual update and gala, because we're going to go high end with legislative updates. And we're going to fight the fight. We're going to hire lobbyists. We're going to do all that stuff. Now, lobbyists will be hired under a 501c4 or something like that, or PAC. I don't know if a PAC can hire lobbyists. I'll let those specialists in those areas figure that stuff out. But we're going to be fighting for this stuff. And those ones that have, bought the bad lobbyists that get real offended.
The wannabe lobbyists that think they're lobbyists.
No, the one that, did you remember the one? Did you see the one that came up to me?
Fight you?
No, that was trying to fight me. I thought that was awesome. What was his name?
I don't know.
Oh,
but
gosh.
He had some awesome golf pants. I
He
remember
had
that.
awesome golf pants. Quarterly business strategy session with me, if that's of value to you. If not of me, we'll trade that out for another lawyer of your choosing at the firm. Free 6-person table at the annual legislative update and dinner, and an RD posse shirt and care package. I think we'd probably hook them up with more than one shirt. Could we do that, Grant?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So we'll say
A shirt for each person at your 6-person table.
yeah, there you go.
Oh,
There
great.
you go. That works out. So that's the Justice for All donation stuff that's going on. But then we've also got, was that an applause?
But there's more.
But there's more. I talked a lot about that. Let's talk about something else for a minute. We'll get to the other thing in a minute. I want to talk about the Tulsa
one more
Transit
thing to
Authority.
say about that. I mean, I see when I watch your lives, everybody's always like, "Can I help? How can I help? How can I help?" This is it. So
This is it.
we've
This
put a
is
lot
how
of
you can
time
help.
and effort into putting this all together. It took a long time to build the websites, to put the packages together, to build this room, to do all of this stuff. So
That's
this
true.
is the way that you can help. If it's only $10 a month,
Yep.
great. That's fine. If you can do $200 a month in your business and you're doing well, then contribute to the fight, because we're going to be fighting on behalf of all the cannabis businesses.
Absolutely. And look, I mean, I'm kind of out on a ledge here. And look, I get beat down for like by people who should be fighting for this industry that have sold their souls to the devil.
Who is that?
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna.
Not gonna
mention
give him
it.
the time of day, are you?
I'm not, because at the end of the day, what I have found so fortunate is the block button, and they're in the echo chamber with themselves. And once I got the block button on the most recent revelation of a bad person tying himself with the PCA, it's quiet again, because they all just spin in their own circle of
It took a lot of
filth.
pressure off of me, that's for sure. That block button,
Yeah.
I don't have to hassle with it. I'm positive vibes.
It's amazing. And it's amazing that they try to sell that they're doing something for this industry when they don't show up. I mean, one of those guys steals footage from DC all the time, acting like he's at events when he's just an absolute and complete
say? It
fraud.
happens, yeah.
I mean, we all know who I'm talking about. I don't need to mention his name. I don't want to give him the time of day or the attention like that. He's going to go run his mouth, I'm sure, and somebody's going to send me something saying he's talking about me. And by the way, folks, I'd appreciate it if you stopped doing that, because I really enjoy when I don't hear from those idiots.
Don't care at all.
Don't care. Would prefer like when they're out of sight, they're out of mind, because they don't show up and actually do anything
Right.
when it matters. So it's not like I have run into them. They'll show up when they think there's going to be a crowd that I have worked hard to bring to fight for something. They show up so they can be seen. That's all they show up for, and they never contribute anything. Ask me what that man ever contributed to anything I've been doing that I'm aware of. Nothing. Nada.
But I love this here, because this is how, no matter how big you are or how small you are in the community, you can contribute. And again, we've got a lot of people that can't get out of their house or don't want to get out of their
Yeah.
house. And this gives the activists a way to get out and do stuff. Again, 10, 20 bucks for gas, 20 bucks for gas, that's 2 or 3 meals too. So if I don't have to go to Tulsa, hey, I can not go to Tulsa, That's a decision you got to make. sometimes.
I mean, the money decision, I had to make a very big money decision to do this. It was
Right.
It was walk away or spend a whole lot of cash to do what I felt was right, and I chose to spend the cash.
Well, I dig it. I
Right
love
is right.
where this is at. I love where you've picked.
Oh, isn't it amazing?
This is cool.
Isn't
yeah.
Greenwood awesome? You ate lunch. Where'd you eat lunch today? Tell the
Wanda's.
folks.
Wanda's
Tell-
across the
what
street.
is that? What is Wanda's?
Wanda's is that. Well, I know
It's
there's
Wanda J's Next Generation Restaurant. By the way,
she's
folks.
313 feet from you. I know that.
Well, look, I nothing again. I like Fixin's Soul Kitchen. We went to the opening of that. We had Reverend Freeman Culver was there. Francetta Mays was there. Angela Chambers, Star there. Star was.
Heather was there.
Heather was there. There was so many awesome people there.
Well, and the kids
Kenny
from-
Kenny
the kids from
Johnson,
Upward Bound,
Kenny
so-
Sean. Oh yeah.
So that's an awesome program that
Yes.
Dr. Culver runs to help, kids that might not otherwise have the opportunity to go to college to be able to kind of encourage them and help them along the way.
Oh,
and
cool.
Even in some cases,
Yeah, that's what
provide
the kid. Yeah,
scholarships.
there was a group of kids there having dinner. Kenny Johnson, former mayor of Seattle, former basketball player, played for multiple teams, but was multi-time. Kevin Johnson, excuse me. I have some of his basketball cards. I found the
Oh, yeah?
other day, so I'm gonna get him autographed. From Reverend Culver said he'd get him autographed for
Oh,
me.
nice.
So, well,
You
I
had
went.
some old basketball cards of his?
Yeah, I got them at the house. My wife brought some of my stuff from storage, and it's been like this.
Treasure trove?
Oh my goodness, it's been a treasure trove. Except for I got a cool button today, but I bought it off of eBay. It's from 1963. I wore it to the Transit Authority today. Let me see if I can hold
You
it
still
up
haven't
here.
talked about that. Can we hear about that yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Now, the Transit Authority was quite a little deal today.
United We Shall Overcome. And if you don't know the song We Shall Overcome, it's a very famous song that was ultimately turned into a speech by Reverend King. But anyway, yeah, the Tulsa Transit Authority. So I got a call the other day, and I was told that there was some security guards at the Tulsa Transit Authority that were being really not friendly to people of a certain complexion, African American. and he wanted me to see if I'd come over there and witness this guy for myself.
Now, this is security guard.
This is a security guard over at the transit authority that's causing the problems.
Right.
And
Are they peace officers, transit?
No,
security
he
guards?
was. He come to find out, no, he is just he's a security guard. He's not a sworn police officer. I asked him that because when he told me to leave, I said,
Yeah.
"You're not a sworn police officer. No, thank you."
There you go.
You're observe and report, sir. That's what you say to a security guard: observe and report.
Yep.
They don't like that.
No, they don't. They don't like that at all.
But hey, I did it today without. I don't think I cussed at all while I was
You did
there.
not. I watched your feed. You did not
I
cuss
was
one
really,
time.
I was. You can thank Grant Miller for that. OBA. Not you guys. It was not you guys. I assure you. You know how I feel about you and your love letters for me exercising my right for free speech. And by the way, if you want to help support the fight for free speech, that's one of the things you're fighting for. I am getting all kinds of love letters on a regular basis for fighting for your rights, and I'd appreciate a little support back. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna stop. So it's not an ultimatum, but we really need some support and help. I mean, look, frankly, I'm deep in this, deep. And building what we're going to build with the OMMA renewals and stuff is going to be a big thing. But let's talk about the Transit Authority.
Yes.
So again,
What's that, Anthony?
Like that applause button.
Oh.
well, keep it going there. We've got a situation over at the Transit Authority, and so I'm like, okay, let me just go over there, and I decided I'd just be inquisitive. Ron, because I like to ask questions. And take tours and think about things for a second. So I go over there and I look at the signs, talks about trespassing. I look at that up. They have an incorrect citation, which I very clearly on the sign. I can't figure out what they're citing, but I've done some research since then, and we're going to follow this up. This is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning. You'll have to wait till later for the Paul Harvey rest of the story. But we went over there.
Yeah. I love Paul Harvey.
Paul Harvey was awesome. I used to love those stories.
Rest of
I listened to the one about the Frisbee and how the Frisbee came around.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know it came around because of the pie tin from the Frisbee Pie Company?
Yep.
Really?
And their workers, when they weren't working, were throwing the pie tins around, and everybody liked the Frisbee pie tins. And so they went out of business making pies, and they started manufacturing Frisbees.
That's almost as good as the
Now,
Reese's.
the Reese's story, yeah. Now, I used to work at a pie making Pet Milk in Chickasha, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And we had those aluminum pie pans, and I heard that story. They do fly really good because you got cases and cases of stuff. Hey, you got an extra.
Right.
Sometimes stuff gets mixed up. We had to, go out and chuck it in the trash and stuff. Cool. It was a blast.
Right. Well, so that's the rest. I heard that Paul Harvey.
Yeah.
I love Paul Harvey. I used to listen to him. It was always played on the radio at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Our grandmother would play
Yeah.
it.
It was like 4 o'clock on the radio in South Mississippi. It was on every
He used
day.
to play it. We used to listen to him at our lunch break.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was
Yeah, they played him regular. I always liked that. But anyway, so we were talking about the Tulsa Bus and Transit Authority. So I went over there to get a tour. Tour was going fantastic. I got a read of the sign that had an incorrect citation to the Tulsa Municipal Code. And when I walked around on my tour, I learned about Flash Terry, the musician we were listening to tonight. So that was cool. I read the sign, educated some people.
And that's a public building too, right?
It's owned by the Transit Trust. Yes,
Right,
a trust.
okay.
A public trust is a public body, public organization, public building.
There you go.
And they got some problems because they kicked me out. Well, we're going to talk about that. So I was recording and walking around, and we go outside and we talk to some people. So we asked for the security guard that people had been having issues with to figure out why he banned these folks from the Tulsa bus terminal and to figure out what authority and what the rationale and reason was. Well, we were waiting outside. We were talking to some of his employees. We go back inside. And this is all on video, folks. Watch it on this Facebook page. Don't take my word for it. It's all right there for you. We also got it on GoPros.
Right.
But we go back inside because they work and sell what I always known as Obama phones, which are the government subsidized phones through
Oh,
the
yeah.
universal
Well, I
service
know what
fee,
you're talking about,
which
yeah.
came out during Obama. So everybody just called them Obama phones. They sell those and provide those services to low income people. And look, quite frankly, the bus terminal is probably a great target market, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's a target rich environment.
Right.
So they're smart business people, and they're getting kicked out for doing what? Offering something to the public that don't have to buy it.
There
And
you
then
go.
they're going in to utilize the restroom and purchase drinks and things. And so what we did when she told me that she was not allowed to go use the restroom, despite the fact that this woman rides Tulsa Transit to her job
Right.
for this cell phone company, rides Tulsa Transit home at the end of the day,
Right.
goes in there and purchases beverages during the day. They have told her she's not allowed to go in there and utilize the restrooms because she's not a, quote, customer.
I've always had a big problem with you sell beverages and you don't have.
Well, but John, it gets better because we go in there. She wants to use the restroom, and I say, okay, well, I saw the signs on the door going in that says restrooms for customers only.
Right.
So we go in there. I give her some dollars out of my pocket. We go in there and buy some waters.
There you go.
And this security guard, when he finally shows up, who clearly has
Like a
some
vending machine, or
serious,
they have a
yes,
snack
vending
bar?
machines.
Oh.
They have vending machines, multiple ones.
Yeah.
We purchase these things. She goes and utilizes
So
the
she's a
restroom
customer.
after purchasing those things.
Yeah.
And I explained it to this gentleman. I explained we are all customers here. We have all purchased a beverage. Every one of us had. Chris had purchased one. I had purchased one. And she had purchased one. And she utilized the restroom. And he tells us that we need to vacate the premises, that we're not customers. And I explained to them that we just purchased beverages and therefore we're customers. And he informs me that they're third-party vending machines. And I'm like, well, sir, you're selling the stuff in a public space.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're deriving some income off of those vending
agency.
machines.
Yep. So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
they got some problems there.
Yeah.
They got some problems there. And I'm sure they're not doing that. If that vending company is getting that contract for free, we're going to look into whose pocket are they lining.
There you
Because
go.
I'm betting that vending company is kicking some money back to the Tulsa Transit Authority, a public trust. So therefore, we were customers. Therefore, kicking us out
Yep.
was completely improper. And also, it is a public building. And as
Yeah.
long as we are not interfering and impeding the activities in a public space, then people are allowed to go into and film government officials in the execution of their endeavors.
Yep.
Sure.
And kicking them out for that is a violation of civil rights. And that happened today. So we get kicked out. So then he tells me to leave, and of course I politely decline and explain.
Did you politely decline?
I did.
He didn't cuss.
I
No,
didn't.
no cussing?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I declined and said that when he said that TPD would come tell me, and I said that's absolutely fine. When they come tell me that, I'll depart.
Yep.
I'll go.
And so the TPD guys showed up, and I don't think they knew exactly what to do, but eventually I got the main guy, whose name I forget. Maybe somebody on here saw it earlier. Ordered me to leave under threat of arrest, which is now a government actor compelling me to give up my civil rights under threat of arrest and under color of law. Ergo, the 1983 action is complete.
Right.
So I got what I needed, and I said, thank you very much. I almost took a trespassing citation.
Did he just blatantly say, yes, I'll arrest you if you don't leave?
It took me a minute to get him to say the magic
Right.
words.
Eventually said it, though.
Yes, he eventually gave me what I needed because he didn't want to. He was trying to, play around with the words, and I'm like,
think
no. Words matter. We have to be
Words
very
matter, yeah.
I
specific
think the
here.
problem, sometimes people that criticize you think that, that this is all just you messing around or just it's all worthless or just you antagonizing people. And to some degree, it is agitation, but you need that in order to suss out people that are
It
violating
is.
rights.
You know what it is? It is because of qualified immunity.
Yeah.
Let's just lay it out there. Boo for qualified immunity.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
people that see you online. Some
I
people
know, I
might
understand, but what I'm
criticize
saying
you.
is like why I have to get them to say such specific words and why officers can act in the way that they do
Right.
is qualified immunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if I just take him telling me to leave and he doesn't have to do it under color, then he didn't meet the requirements for causing a civil rights violation. Although he achieved the result that he wanted,
Right.
He just didn't go quite far enough to order you under color of law and threat of
I'm
arrest
just
to
saying, for
leave.
people out there that might be watching now who think, "Oh man, that guy's just a troublemaker," it's with a purpose. There's a purpose.
It's
to it.
always with the purpose. I
purpose
didn't
is
look.
to-
I didn't decide one day. I assure you, I felt really bad earlier today, and I wanted to cancel with every ounce of my being. I feel much better now, but I had to cancel yesterday. No, this was not my idea to go over there. This was somebody asked me to come help, and look, let the cameras speak for themselves.
That's it.
We're going to follow up on that, and you by supporting the Justice for All Legal Defense Fund, and that's what you're helping support, because the next step is multi-pronged. We're going to go to the Transit Authority and demand answers. We're going to go to the city of Tulsa and demand answers. We're going to go to the Tulsa Police Department and demand answers. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what we're going to do through the Justice for All Legal Defense Fund, because transparency in government is one of those prongs. Access to justice. That's the thing.
That touches everything.
It does.
Government transparency touches everything. If you don't
Yes.
know what's going on, if you can't be apprised of what your government is doing and how they're treating you, what rights they are and are not violating, then you've got a real problem. I mean, you've got a real problem on your hands, because they're going to go do these things behind closed doors
Yep.
without
Yeah.
anybody, without it ever seeing the light of day, and nobody's ever going to know, because Sally isn't willing to stand in front of the police officer and say, "Are you telling me you're going to arrest me?" Sally will just walk away quietly.
Right.
And now she's had her rights violated, and nobody will ever hear about it.
See, that's what
Right.
people need to
That's
know.
why I
is
had to
for
get the
so
magic
long,
words.
this has been going on, and people have been just cattle. We've been treated like that for so long. The cops and different authorities just treat you and just shove you along, and people have been
Maybe we can
accepting that,
tag
and you
Long
can't.
Island Audit on here. Long Island Audit's a great source of. He does a really good job. We need to educate people on how to hold the government accountable and then take action, because
There you go.
Look, it's the expense. But in Oklahoma, we're fortunate in that open records and open meeting act cases carry attorney's fees. And look, so we need help funding this stuff. But at the end of the day, this is all going to self-perpetuate. We're going to get the government to be funding our endeavors to fight the government. And I mean, what better way to do something with our money than to get the government to have to spend its money to fight us fighting
Another
it,
government,
as opposed to
yeah.
them using that
Wouldn't
money
it
to
be
come
cool?
after us.
Well, I
Yeah.
think John's right too. It's apathy on everybody's part, because
Right.
after a certain amount of time of just getting pushed around, it just becomes normal, and you become apathetic, and you just it becomes part of everyday life that you're getting your rights. You're getting infringed on.
Well, if it goes down to like if I get arrested for possession or something like that, okay, now I'm in the system. It's only affecting me and my family and the lawyers and stuff that I have to hire, but nobody else knows about that. That's why so many people were so supportive of 788, because they knew somebody that had been arrested for marijuana.
Yeah.
They knew somebody that was in the system, and they thought it was such BS because
Well,
they were having to go through it.
Jonna, I'm sorry to report that what now OB&DD has cocked up with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is to arrest transporters for trafficking.
Really?
I have a transporter that has been now arrested twice, going to the same dispensary for transporting with a manifest.
I was going to say, with the manifest.
With
and
a
they're-
manifest,
Transport
fully,
license, everything?
yes, transport agent license,
Wow,
everything. It is insanity.
that is.
But he gets arrested before the guy ever searched the vehicle to establish that there was actually marijuana in the vehicle. I'm waiting for that. We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
We got to get the body cam on that stuff and get the highway patrol cams. Do we have?
Highway patrols don't have cameras.
Right, that's right.
I mean, they've got dash cams.
Okay, do they have
They got
dash
dash
cams?
cams,
Well,
but
he
they
says
don't
that
have
the
body
vehicle is
cams,
behind him. Why does the highway patrol not have body cams?
It's interesting, isn't it?
I think it's for a specific purpose, is
Well,
what
yeah,
I would
it is.
estimate. What do you think, John?
I think it's for a very specific purpose because, they can get out and, in my opinion, you could plant something pretty easy without a body.
Yeah, what do you
camera.
think, audience? Why is it that Oklahoma Highway Patrol does not utilize body cameras for its officers? That is,
I wonder if we get an answer on that if we ask the question to them. What do you think they would say?
I don't know.
We might know
what the reasoning and rationale behind that is?
What the policy
Are they going to get a budget? Are we going to get a budget response?
Yeah, it's going to be
from the
budget.
state police? Hopefully not.
Oh,
Don't we have a $6 billion savings and all that
yeah,
that
I
we're
think
always
it's,
bragging
think
about?
it's
Yeah,
2 point
but
something
they've
billion.
got-
But hey, I told you I'm going after that money I want that money for the people. So don't you be touching my rainy day fund. I
it
plan
would
on
be
getting a
for
lot
the
of that. I plan on getting a lot of that for me and the citizens of
would be
Oklahoma.
for
We're
the
going to do a lot of
people
good with that
if the
rainy day
highway
fund. Don't you be
patrol-
touching my money.
It would be for the people of the highway.
He's spending my
patrol.
money on state stuff, John.
I know he wants
I have
to.
explained this. I am happy that there's
Do you
2
want
point
OHP
something.
to have the body cam or not?
Yes, but
Okay.
they can do that under regular budgetary methods and cut some things like Adria Berry from the OMA, for example.
'Cause she's not a peace officer.
Because she's not a peace officer, and how is a peace officer required position being served by a person who's not a sworn peace
Well,
officer?
with all the cameras they're putting up in intersections and stuff now, they should be able to take the body cameras off of police officers and put them on the highway patrols because we've got cameras everywhere.
I
now.
don't look, but
I want the cameras on the police officers though.
because you scare me with these cameras. Like they're starting to sound like Britain.
Trust me,
China.
we are okay right now.
Britain, have you seen
Britain,
how much
yeah,
Britain
dude, Britain
films
is-
their people? Yes.
Oh yeah, way worse than
Oh
China.
my gosh!
Well,
And
China
they have
has
private. They have
No,
private
no, no,
people
no.
that walk around and cite people for smoking in public and stuff. Like some of the some of the
They got
stuff
guys
in
that just
England
sits in the deal and he just scans streets
Yes.
and stuff. Looking.
But don't the Chinese have the facial recognition everywhere, so they know exactly where you're going, and the social credit score and all that?
It's
Everybody's
communist
got-
China. We don't know exactly what they have. We do know what they have in Britain, which is insanity.
Yeah. If
Which kind of begs the question why the former prime minister ever thought he was going to get away with that COVID lockdown party that he tried to get away with. But Boris, are you going to go to prison? Are you going to join Trump there?
Resigned, didn't he?
He did resign. But he resigned before he was removed from office. That does not remove the issues potentially. I don't know what's going on there, but this is not a British politics show, so we will.
Have you ever
save
been
that.
to England?
No. I have
Okay,
not.
the rate of exchange for money is terrible, and I hate their food. They need ketchup big time.
What do you think about their food?
It's terrible.
I have
man.
been to Belgium, and I will tell you the food was on
Okay,
point.
now Germany rocks.
Oh, I hated Germany's food.
I
Oh
love
man,
it.
I was in Berlin. It was
Hey, German
terrible.
food?
Yes, the
Like-
Berlin food was awful. I didn't. I don't.
Trout and
Okay,
sausage?
okay. Now here's
No,
something for you.
done correctly, like Siggy's Sausage Factory makes some good sausages.
Okay, here's something for
Shout
you.
out to Siggy's. You want to be a sponsor, Siggy's?
We were in Germany and we went in a Chinese restaurant. This girl comes walking up. She was Chinese or Oriental. She comes walking up to us wearing a full kimono. Now, or Chinese kind of flows. It's kind of a nice, easy language.
This is a PG story, right, John?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. Trust me.
just-
She comes up to
Started
us.
out starts out sounding not so PG.
Yeah, I know. I just thought I'd ask.
She starts speaking German to us.
Oh wow.
It was like watching a dubbed kung fu movie. 'Cause that,
Not what you're expected to come out.
know.
those words
Yeah.
do not come
Yes,
out
that
of
was
you.
awesome.
It was too weird.
Did you know that there are areas of Argentina where they speak exclusively German?
I did not. I don't think.
Yeah,
we
it's
went
all
to
the
Argentina.
Nazis that escaped Germany. And,
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
settled
yeah.
there. There was a lot of them. I mean, the Israelis got a few of them.
Yeah.
Took them a while.
And-
But okay, Grant, how many is that now, sir?
2?
All right.
I swear you got 2 beers over there.
Well, I do have
Diet
2 beers.
Dr.
It's been a
Pepper.
long day, and I've got lots of waters as well. Hey, let's talk about the packages now, because I got to get to this because I'm getting
Yeah,
tired.
yeah. Come on, pick it up.
The renewal packages, folks. Look, things have gotten extremely complicated. We all know that. We all know all the requirements for additional documents, the OB&DD rules, the interviews, the fact that OB&DD and OMA are going to drop all new sets of regs very, very soon. All the required documentation and proof of everything. The anal swabs that they're going to require for new renewals is here. It is. And we know that OMMA is worthless
Right.
in terms of help. And so what I figured is we'd put these things together and offer sort of a dual thing. And we've got really 3 different packages. And through July 5th, we are offering anybody that signs up a lifetime on the price of the package, whatever the price of the package is, a 25% lifetime. Am I saying that right, Grant?
25% lifetime. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet deal because once you get on that, you're good to go. We'll never offer another lifetime. We might do discounts way down the road, a year from now, 6 months
But
from now,
just
but
until
they're
the bill.
only for a year. at a time. So they do help you with your on one renewal. This is lifetime. So for as long as you are on the package.
And this is for all your licenses. So you can sign up all your licenses, every one of your licenses, and you get all of these things. And look, I'm just going to talk about the end of the rainbow, what you've got to have if you want everything that's going on. You've got the OMMA renewal, which means we get with you 90 days beforehand saying this is all the stuff for 2023 that you need to get us.
Right.
That you've got to have. Here's what all the law changes were. Here's all the stuff that we're going to need to do your renewal. Because quite frankly, people can't keep up with the laws and it hits them in the face. And these put a renewal in and keep doing it. Those days are very soon over. And they already are slamming the door on these things. OBNDD is slamming the door with hitting you for a new fee or killing your license. So we can't play around with this stuff. So again, all the packages are different, but I'm going to talk about the head one that gets you everything. But it does the OMMA renewal, all of it. I mean, look, if you've got documents you need for your company, you're going to get a discount in here on document stuff that we need to do. Because I can't guarantee that you're not going to come with absolutely completely screwed up documents from your prior lawyer. No offense to your prior lawyer. But we'll give you a discount. But this is us helping you get all the stuff together, knowing exactly what to do, making sure all the stuff is done in the way that we know it to work, that we've done all these other ones with. Also includes the OBNDD renewal, including having somebody present for the interrogation. So unlike everybody else where you show up, if there's an OBNDD interrogation where you have to do the supplemental application and the in-person interview, somebody will be present with you, and we will schedule those things in our office for them to conduct these inspections and these interviews. So because we're not going to go get locked in a room or any of that stuff if you're a client of ours. It includes the OBNDD supplemental as needed, Durbin diagnostics and structural review. So we'll look at all of the company structures, make sure all your stuff is set up correctly. If you're coming to us new, if we already set your stuff up, I'll still look at it to make sure we don't need to update something. So we'll have a meeting, go through that stuff, and make sure your stuff is where it needs to be. We'll have the monthly pint night should be part of the mastermind group. So that'll be the private group where you can ask questions, get answers, not build questions and answers. So essentially you're prepaying for, questions and answers without having to get billed for every one of them. The monthly newsletter, monthly business strategy session with Ron Durbin, a monthly thing with them.
For the biggest package, That's
okay.
I ran all these by you. That's
all right.
Surprise there, right?
I'm going to clarify that's a 30-minute. 30 minutes, because I can't. My God, you would ruin all my time at a way lower rate than I charge, sir.
Sure hope so.
Yeah. So okay. Well, there you go, Grant.
I hope so. I mean, that would be great. That would mean a lot of people were on these packages.
Well, like Grant does. I think that people will sign up. I don't know how many people are still watching this. 25, 22. Hey, a few people. Hey, by the way, share this, please. Get this out there. And you also get 15% off legal fees at the firm on Greenwood, free entry to the annual legislative update and dinner, RD posse shirt, care package, and a annual bylaw or operating agreement update. Wow, that's a bonus too. I'm not sure I agree to that one. Y'all better sign up before this changes.
There's a ton of value in there.
Yeah, that one's like substantial.
You actually added that one. I didn't have that on there. So
was I consuming Bodega Boys at the time?
It's possible. But it's a ton of value. That's the point. You're going to get a lot of
There's
value.
a lot of
out
value
these
in it. That's
packages.
a lot of value.
So you're going to get, it's not just about the renewals. You're going to get a lot of information. You're going to get the legislative updates. You're going to get
Update, not a new one, an update. We're going to clarify.
Update,
That's
yeah,
an
yeah.
update.
Is
Yeah.
that what it says?
We're going to have to make sure the terms and conditions spell that out. By the way, we'll get the terms and conditions out, and if for some reason somebody signs up and you don't agree to the terms and the conditions, all refundable. Don't worry about that, not whatsoever. I do want to mention on the renewal packages, you can't just sign up for a month and have a renewal next month. Whatever, if it's been 6 months on your first year, if it's been 6 months since your renewal and you sign up right now, then when you get time to your renewal, you're going to owe us the other 6 months of legal fees. right then, and then you'll be on the right program moving forward from then, and every year it's going to be covered. So just understand that if you sign up for a month, you're not going to get to pull a fast one and get a free renewal and then get to cancel it. You're going to have to pay the full annual fee, but you're going to get all the services all year.
Honestly, all of those services are probably worth the price in itself. I mean,
Just the
we're
access.
pretty close. Just
the
I mean,
access
just
to be
the
able to
added
ask
bonuses,
questions
yeah.
and stuff. That's
And
a
so-
huge.
I think so, but I'm a little egotistical.
Because there's so
on
many
occasion.
people. There's a lot of jailhouse lawyers out there trying to answer
Facebook
questions.
ones, yeah.
Trying to answer questions and cover stuff, and they're not really going up to Capitol talking
Maybe
to
maybe they got a little private session with some OMMA officials or something
I
like
don't
that, and they're out trying to
Trying to
spout
cover-
that information off
Yeah.
like they know something that you
And one of the things that we're going to have, and by the way, if you are an outside field inspector or a former OMMA inspector and you're looking for outside work, one of the things we're going to be doing is making sure that we have inspectors available for our people to get pre-inspection so we can get in front of the OMMA. Look, they're punitive. They want to shut you down.
Right.
So the only thing I could think of as to how to fight against that is to sort of set up our own first line of defense, which is a renewal process that everybody that's part of will have the benefit of everybody else having been part of it, having a whole team on it, having people who have experience from all the other people on the team going through these things, knowing all the people at the OMMA. And look, despite the fact that Adria Berry is terrible, there's a lot of really great people over there at the OMMA.
We're working on partnering with somebody who is a previous inspector, and they have a company that does these pre-inspections. So
Right.
we'll be able to have that as a upgrade to any of these packages. So if you want somebody who's done the job to come out and inspect your property, we can have that done. And then
Pre-inspect, yeah.
Yeah, pre-inspect, yeah. And then, they're gonna know what OMMA is looking for, but more
Yep.
as much as that, this is just something that came to my mind. You tell me if this is
See,
right.
OMMA
But if they go out and they pre-inspect and then OMMA comes and shuts them down, it would probably be pretty valuable to have somebody like that to go and testify to say, hey, I
Yes.
used to
Yeah.
work for them.
Yes.
And this is how they said we should do it. And I went in and I did that prior to them having this inspection.
Well, look, having that pre-inspection done is hugely valuable because what we go and look at is you look at whether negligence is gross negligence or simple negligence, whether something's accidental or a system and sign of a systemic problem. And if you were doing all these things to ensure compliance and that things are right and getting these pre-inspections not by OMA at your own dime to get these reports and taking corrective action and doing the things that we're going to walk you through to do, then if you get hit for something, we got evidence to show, hey, look, you're not a bad person that was not trying to do something. Look at all you've done
Yep.
to be compliant. This is just
To
the
be
OMMA
compliant, yeah.
being the big bad OMMA trying to shut down the industry. This is evidence to go in front of the judge in the real court, not Captain Kangaroo's court at the OMMA, to say when they review this de novo, which a de novo review of an agency decision means there is no deference given to the judge's decision in that ALJ. Essentially, their decision is freaking worthless in review, which is why I call him Captain Kangaroo, because
Yeah.
he knows that too. And he's just going to do whatever the OMMA wants. And until we can get judges to review this stuff, but at least we get de novo review. And we got to just challenge. And frankly, one of the things that the Justice for All stuff does, which is the other thing, you want to throw that link back up there for Justice for All? On Justice for All, one of the things we're going to be doing is that's the fight there,
That is the
folks.
fight.
That's
where
the
it's
fight where we're fighting all these legal challenges where I can't keep doing it at my own dime. And I want to support all these other great things and great people fighting for things. I got lots to announce there if we can get this thing off the ground. I don't know if we've raised a dime tonight, but I sure hope we've. Look, I'm asking you to sign. Look, sign up
I'm
for a
asking you
package.
too. Go ahead and sign up because I think this is a great program. I'm behind this program. I support this.
Thank you, John.
Because I like being able to have access to contact. A lot of people have questions. They want to be able to call and contact and talk
Well,
about
if somebody stays more on top of, look, I'm sorry, but when you go, who you want to call?
Ghostbusters.
Well, there's them, but there's also the situation for the expert on the regulations. Are you going to call somebody like Adria Berry at the OMMA, or would you rather me be there that's more in tune and up to date on this stuff. I don't think she knows her ass from a hole in the ground.
See,
That's my first cuss word tonight. Forgive
If
me.
you call the OMMA, you're calling an agency
on
that
you.
wants to shut you down. But if you call us, you're calling an agency that wants to keep you in business.
Yes. There you go, John. That's well said. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank
Absolutely.
you.
That's what I mean. Right. Our goal is to,
Right.
if you're
Keep
not
you
in
in
business,
business.
we're not in business.
No, that's it. If
mean,
you're not
right?
in business, we're not in business.
That's our
You bet.
slogan. If you're not in business, we're not in business.
Right on.
Like our job is to help keep you in business.
Right
It is
on.
in our financial best interest
You bet.
to fund all this fighting that we're doing, and it'll allow us to, quite frankly, hire some lobbyists and fight back.
That's it.
We got to do that, man. We can't let these has-been failure, hot sales, selling disty that's hot, selling freaking product that's hot, blaming everybody else for their failures and misfortune. It's hilarious. We can't let them get the ear of the OMMA like they have right now. What kind of insanity is that? It shows you how bad the OMMA has turned. The fact that those haters of the industry that are trying to destroy it are the ones that are getting some attention.
I dislike
I
it.
find that hilarious.
Well,
I
those folks
dislike
can-
it. I'm sorry.
No, okay. Those folks can really help OMMA destroy the industry faster, right? I mean, that's the whole
Yeah.
point. They recognize that. OMMA recognizes that.
OMMA.
I would think so. Well, hey, you know what? I've got to take a quick break. Why don't you and Old School talk for a second, then we'll come back in here and wrap this thing up.
Say, hell, I got to take a break too.
All right. Well, you know what we're going to do, folks? This has been a long night. We're going to go ahead and wrap this
Yeah,
thing
and,
up.
and just for future reference, this was just a launch of our products, and just kind of a feeling out process, trying to
Yeah.
launch the podcast, get a little conversation going. But moving forward, we'll have very specific topics and guests,
Yes.
and people that'll come on here and talk about particular things, and we'll get deeper.
Oh, we have
into
all kinds of
subjects.
guests every Thursday night, 9 p.m. We will be coming to you live from the Triangle. We will also have all kinds of special lives. This podcast room is in the Triangle, lives at the firm on Greenwood, on Greenwood Avenue. We're going to be here fighting all the time. We're going to be doing interviews and lives all the time from right here. Help support what we're doing, because I got to hire a lot of lawyers to fight all this stuff, and I can't pay them unless you help.
I really do hope people recognize how good this is
I hope
and
they
get
do
behind
too,
it.
because it ain't gonna work if not. And oh well.
Use either the old school QR code or Anthony's.
Yeah, if you're signing up for the package, they're gonna share it on their page. But if you're signing up for the package for the renewals, then please sign up get with Old School, get with Anthony. If you are interested in helping us promote this and get the word out there,
Right on.
We've got all kinds of Grant set up a whole affiliate program. We want to help support the grassroots effort there. So Grant came from the insurance industry, so he knows something about how you look. It's just like the ASPCA or any other charity. You got to spend money to make money, and there's a way that this has got to
it.
work, and we got to support everybody in the process.
And it's important to note that this is through. So this is Ron has a consulting company called Tricombe Consulting. So this is not a legal product, even though some of the folks here are going to be dedicated to handling this renewal
That's true.
paperwork. It's going to be this is completely separate from legal work, and that's
Right.
how we're able to do an affiliate program and all of that, because we obviously can't share legal fees, but we can through the consulting company do the affiliate program, and as long as you guys are willing to spread it.
Yep, and this is a renewal and compliance package, just like everybody else out there on the market is free to sell without a law degree or law license. That's why we were able to set it up this way.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate in that regard, and I've had the consulting company set up for quite a while, and so it is sort of all fit into place. And yeah, it kind of ties into what we're doing, and the money that we make is going to be turned back into fighting this fight.
Fighting
and,
the fight.
And I learned my lesson about fighting other places. We're in it to win it in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
We got a whole statewide, I got a whole national message and things we're going to talk about on this podcast. But at the end of the day, the fight is right here in the heartland, and we got 77 counties to get to. And with that said, thank you all for joining us on the first Triangle podcast. Thank you so much to my guests, Old School John Frazier. Thank you so much, John,
Right on,
for
man.
joining us. John will be a regular guest, I assure you.
You
You'll
bet.
see him a lot. We also want to thank Anthony Smith. He's over here hiding, not saying a whole lot, for all of his help in getting this set up. Alex
He
Miller.
literally brought the roof down on
He
this.
literally brought the roof down and the asbestos potentially.
He has.
No, it's just insulation. It's just insulation.
Yeah, fiberglass. Yeah.
Fiberglass insulation that he was breathing without any problems. Do not sue me. For,
Have you been harmed by?
You were not. Have you been harmed
Have
by
you
Ron
harmed by
Nervous? Have you been?
mesothelioma?
Have you been in the Fairmont Greenwood's offices and been harmed by mesothelioma? Darn it! I was already worried I was going to be drinking a cancel culture beer tonight. Thankfully, this is not a cancel
Is
culture
that like
beer.
Coors now? Who owns that?
This
Coors?
is Miller Goldwyn something or other. It's not Anheuser
Miller?
Busch. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Oh yeah, it's probably Coors then.
No, it just says
That's
Blue
where
Moon
Golden is.
Brewing Company.
That's where Coors is.
Yes, I understand where Coors is. I
It
know.
must be Coors.
It's going to be a.
It must be Coors.
I mean,
Must be.
You think it's just by? Okay, we're supposed to be ending the podcast.
You know, we are supposed to be ending, but there's
I've worked
27. Okay, hang on. No, I did not give away enough stuff. So before we end this, I got to give away something else.
Cool.
By the way, I do want to mention a couple of things. You're going to want to pay special attention to an object in the room that may change from week to week. And I'm not talking about the weed. Grant's grabbing the weed, like that's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
Put
my
that on
follow
camera.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I will show you guys.
and
this.
my followers will know to look.
Oh no, you changed the camera on me. Look at that. That's some packaging. You know, I always talk about some packaging, folks. Nothing for sale or trade or whatever here. This is hemp in here, by the way.
Bodega boys.
Bodega boys.
Bodega boys.
Bodega. See, he's been smoking too much Bodega boys, is what old school.
That
I've
was,
been
uh,
smoking up Bodega Boys and turned into Bodoga Boys.
This-
Yes, after he's smoking enough Bodega boys.
And-
It's
and-
Bodega. What was it?
See?
Bodega. I didn't have any. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
I
dirty
did not
money.
have any of that devil's lettuce, sir.
Dirty
What you
money
talking
too.
about?
My kind of people, man.
Dirty,
I
but
like
that's
that.
not dirty money though. I think they just put that in the packaging.
Oh,
Let's
they
see what it
did?
was. Let's see what it was. By the way, these guys are some amazing folks that were supposed to show up here.
I'm gonna drop by and see them
it's
pretty soon.
bubble gum, and let's see if it
Not
smells
the
like
kind
bubble
you
gum.
chew.
No, I don't. Look, we cannot decarboxylate things in our stomachs. Unlike allegedly my dogs, who may or may not allegedly enjoy eating cannabis. Allegedly,
Yeah.
they really have fun at the festivals because people throw down joints and they go eat them all. They are potheads, like my dogs, like truly.
They love it.
Oh yeah, they absolutely love it.
Duke
Max,
is a-
my Yorkie, is the biggest pothead of anybody I think I've ever met. And then Duke is just
Duke
cool,
had a
dude.
good time at the drag races.
He did have a good, except for the loud noise.
Yeah.
That's got a nose to it. Yeah, I wish you had.
Surprised you could smell.
I wish you had smell-o-vision. I didn't say what nose it had. I said it has a nose to it.
No, I'm
If you-
saying I was surprised.
I really can't smell it.
okay.
That's why I felt bad. I'm trying to go, and I'm like, I got freaking nothing.
I got that.
Yeah.
I got nothing, folks. Thank God he burns it, so John
You
will be
just know that it has
so
a
old
nose
school.
to it, right?
Look, I know Bodega
I
Boys
can
flour.
still smell.
John can attest to the smell of the flour, and we'll end the show on this note. Thank you, and look, United, we shall overcome. It's a slogan of SNCC and CORE and Martin Luther King, and it's a fight we got to fight. And
Right on.
we're fighting this fight in Oklahoma, and we need your help.
And we can't do it individually anymore. We need to come
No.
together where we can fight.
I'm
as-
done. I can't. I gotta have help.
trust me, I can't
I
either.
gotta have help.
I'm interested to see
Oh, that does
after
smell good.
everybody. I saw so many people. Oh, how can we help? How can we help? So I'm interested to see. I mean,
I mean-
I'm not expecting. There haven't been. It's kind of late at night. Is our first.
It's a
time.
self-centered question, but let me ask you this, Grant. You see me. Do I have any more to give?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think I do either.
5K's been riding with me, trust me.
No, I know. I mean, look. I
Or
mean,
Anthony, yeah.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, with that said, you all, we love you. We appreciate your support. If you were able to become a sponsor and start supporting that, or if you signed up for a program or plan, or you sign up tomorrow, again, use that code to.
July 4, the number 4 launch. July 4 launch. That's the 25% off.
That is a lifetime
Lifetime.
discount over whatever the cost of the renewal package we have at the time is. That is not going to lock in your price for life, because if OMA gets more complicated, I'm sorry, I cannot predict the future. I say this all the time, but when I walked across the stage in law school, Grant, what did they not give me?
God, dang it. A crystal ball.
They did not give me a crystal ball when I walked across that stage in law
They
school.
gave me one.
Well, I'm sorry that you were so lucky. So can you please, Sir Sage, in your wisdom,
But That
Tell the future.
45%
I'll tell you
discount,
later.
that's a big discount.
25% discount. Did you say 45
That's
or
what
25?
I heard.
25.
25, John. Gosh darn it. I already gave away enough
Them
money.
hearing
Didn't
aids
hear
not
me, doesn't
going.
have anything more to give.
When I heard
I got
45%,
nothing
I
more to
said,
give,
dude,
John.
that's pretty intense.
I'm not asking for money for
Yeah,
free. I'm
okay.
giving stuff for it because
25%
there
discount.
you go.
Okay, there you go.
Through July 5th.
5th. You got to sign up before July 5th.
Was that before July 5th or on July 5th?
11:59.
11:59 July 5th. Okay.
All right, so we're going to run it through July 5th so you get back to work.
Right.
I agree with that. Let them
Cool.
get to celebrate. Go get drunk on this Independence Day. Thank a veteran, kiss a veteran, buy a veteran a drink, get a veteran high. Right?
There you go. Works
And with
for
that
me.
said, you all stay safe out there. Alex, take us out of here with a little more of Mr. Flash.
Right on.
Terry, would you please, sir?
He's working on it. He's working. He's working.
He's working.
He wasn't ready for that one.
He wasn't.
Well, now he's
That-
going to be
and that's
ready.
okay because we are. This is a
Learning.
feeling out process.
Well, see, this has been more
We're
fun
always
than
going to
trying.
end with the
Not in a
audio we
dirty
came
way.
in with.
Huh?
We're always going to end with the
Yeah,
audio
yeah,
we
we
came
should.
in with. I think
He's
we
sitting
should.
there searching.
No, it's right there. I can see it. He's got it on the right of the screen.
Oh, there it is.
Turn
Right on.
that
But
up.
it's been playing in the
On my
speaker.
way back home.
All right, you all enjoy some of this as we fade out.
On my
Turn
way
that music
back
up,
home.
and I'll see you guys later. Stay safe out there.
Says I'm so tired. Tired being alone. All the places I've gone. All the things I've been shown.